Hello everyone and welcome to my computer program coding video. My plan is to make something like what I've built here, with spikes on the top and bottom, like these, and with some kind of spaceship flying in the middle, and then maybe some asteroids flying past it. Now I'm going to show you a video to show a bit more specifically what I mean. I will not be making these keys, but instead I'll have asteroids flying around. Here you can also see the dart that I'm going to try to make, and you can see the spikes on the top and bottom. So if you remember from the video that I showed, there are spikes moving on the top and bottom. Okay, this one and this one are the base, and then this one is like the point. So let's see how this looks. Oh, damn. Oh, comma. At least we have the spike, but it does not seem to be moving. Ball. Oh, oops. Did I write ball? Oh. Okay, there. Now, the spike should move. Yeah! Now I'm here on my final copy to explain everything. First we have everything I've imported, which includes everything from tkinter, random, and time. Here I've defined the width and height of the canvas. I've also created color groups with different hex codes for colors. And then here I've chosen a color from this colors group. And here I've just chosen a hex code color. I've also made the X and Y speed, which I'm going to use for movements later. Here I've made a variable for the amount of spikes. This is going to be useful later. Here I'm creating the canvas. So for the canvas I have the width of the width that I set up here. Same thing with the height. And then I have the background color set to a pink color. I also have a title for the canvas. Here is where I actually create my background. I do this by appending objects to the BG group. This means that I create an object and automatically put it into the BG group. The object is a oval, which I do by using canvas.create to make an oval and setting the coordinates. First one is I times 0, which means that I is the number here. So for example, on -3 it would have I is -3. So -3 times 0, which is 0. Do the same thing here. And then here I do I times 15. So for example, -3 times 15 is -45. And then I times 50. -3 times 50 is -150. Then it redoes this with every single one up to 200. Then I fill the circles with a random color from the colors group which I set up here. These are all shades of pink. And I make the width of the outline 0. Here I'm creating my randomly bouncing asteroids. I do this by creating an asteroid class. In the asteroid class, I define the shape of the asteroid, which is an oval, where I put coordinates starting at 10, 10, and then doing factor times 20 and factor times size for the second x and y coords. I also fill it with col, the color, which is here. I also set an x and a y speed, which is random between -10 and 10. I also make it so that if it hits the top or bottom of the canvas or any of the sides of the canvas, it will invert its speed to make it go backwards. I make the asteroids in a similar way to how I made the background earlier. First, I create an empty group. Then I make a command which repeats 10 times, and I append asteroids to the exhaust group. This means that I create the class asteroid and put it in the exhaust group. I also set the color, which is still col, and I set the size, which is random.ranrange 17, 23. This means that it's a number between 17 and 23. I also set the factor, which is 1, which means that I multiply the size and I multiply 20 by 1. I do a similar thing down here to create more asteroids, but I write it after creating the dart. This layers it on top of the dart, making it seem as if it's closer in a three-dimensional space. I also put the factor as 1.5 to make them larger because you multiply 20 and the size by a bigger number. Here is the code for the dart, or spaceship, my main complex figure. I make it by creating different shapes and layering them in a way so that it looks good. I also choose different colors and make some of the colors the same so that it fits. The arc was quite difficult to make, so I've linked a source that I used. Then I add all the darts to a group so that I can more easily move them later. Here I create the spikes. I do this by making an empty spikes group and then appending shapes to it. Similarly to with the background, I multiplied by I to make the coordinates more dynamic. This is where I move everything. The first thing I do is do for spike and spikes and then canvas.moveSpike x speed, y speed. Basically this means that for every spike or everything in the spikes group, I move it X speed and Y speed, which I set all the way up here. Then I do tk.update, which updates all the objects' positions on the canvas. I then redo the same for iron range command, except I change the amount of times I do it, and I change the direction of which the dart is moving to make it more dynamic and look better. Finally, I do tk.mainLoop to keep the window open. Now let's look at my program in action. So, as you see here, the spikes are moving backwards, the asteroids are bouncing around randomly. Some of them are going behind the spaceship and some of them are going in front. The spaceship is moving up at different patterns. There are also some slight speed changes in the background. Before I end the video, I would like to apologize that the face cam is very delayed. Also, I have an extended cut linked in the description if you want to see more research, more designs, and more prototypes. The extended cut also has more detailed and less rushed explanations. Thank you for watching my video, and bye!